The next piece of the model is a thing called an educational support team. Now, different places call them different things. And this is a generic term for a group of people who get together to talk about specific students who are having difficulty learning. So when I say educational support team, I'm talking about student services team. It's that group of people who get together. We're going to, when we get into this and look at it, how often does that team meet?
Once a week.
Oh, cool. Good. Many places I go, they meet once a month. That's not going to cut it in an RTI model. We're going to see why. Because so once a week is excellent. That's how often these folks need to get. And we're going to talk about what do they do. Fidelity and integrity of instruction means just what it means. That when I decide how many people, what's an example of a specific program that you might use to support a youngster with a severe or significant reading challenge? Someone mentioned the LIPS a minute. Anyone familiar with that, Linda Mood? So one of the things that's coming to your district may be some training in a program called the Linda Mood. It's got the acronym is LIPS, and it gets at the various aspects of literacy. But it's a complex program, and it requires training. So people come in and they'll provide you with a couple of days of training on how to provide the instruction, the specialized instruction to kids. Now, the Lindemood program has a research base that shows this is an effective program. And what this is getting at is, suppose you do the training and you go back to your classroom and you say, you know something, I don't really like that part where I have to go back and forth and the youngster has to give me 5 responses. I'm only going to ask for 1. If they get it right, I'm cool and I'm moving on. That's what we're getting at, the whole fidelity and integrity piece. Because you've changed the program, then you're not going to get the same research-based outcomes. And the research tells us that it's rare that we as educators implement programs that are intended to be done in a certain way. It's rare that we implement them in the way they were intended. And the research also shows us that in not doing so, we don't get the same outcomes. So this is a big part of the model. Is this becoming as a big issue in Canada as in the U.S., the whole notion of scientifically research-based interventions, that we only do things with kids that have a research base? It's huge down south. Anyone ever hear the term hippotherapy? Does anyone know what it is? It's therapy by riding horses. I don't dislike horses. I don't happen to own one. If someone gave me one, I'd probably keep it. But there's little research to show that by riding a horse, you're going to improve your social skills, you're going to improve your literacy skills, you're going to improve your math. But we have people, parents, asking for that therapy on a regular basis. Well, now our federal regulations tell us, well, we can say, show me the data, that this is an effective intervention for this, and it allows us to kind of time out. I'm not sure we're going to fund this because we have different rules. It's funded at public expense, any kind of therapy. So the whole notion that, but it goes beyond that. There are some reading interventions that people may engage in that don't have good outcomes, that we shouldn't be doing. So what it's requiring us now to do is to look at what we're doing with kids to make sure that this is the program that gets a bang for the buck, and that if we connect, you're going to see how it's all a puzzle piece connected, to make sure that we're implementing that program the way it was intended. And then if I go over here to database decision making, we're doing progress monitoring, we're doing universal screening. In this model, what we do is, a big part of the RTI model is the graphic representation of data so that we can make decisions. We're going to play a little game today. I'm going to flash you some graphs and see. You can see if you tell me, did the kid make progress or not? Graphs can be extremely helpful in helping teams decide which direction to go with kids. And the use of the data that we're collecting along the way.